mood was absolutely fine. His mood was fantastic. He looked forward to coming on the trip, and he enjoyed I think he enjoyed the activities very, very much. So his mood was fantastic. I think I need to explain to you exactly what happened, because it may answer some of the questions. We were on skidoos, on racing skidoos, and on the Saturday we did some quite mountainous trips over the mountains and whatever. They were hard. They were very hard physically and hard. They were hard to do. On the Sunday we did a much easier trip where it was on flat land. So it was very easy, and I think I'll come to the answer to your next question in a minute. We'd had lunch. We'd had a lovely lunch.
So why did he call me? He always calls me at lunchtime.
I don't know. We'd had lunch, and we'd set off.
Sorry, what time did you have lunch?
About 1 o'clock. We'd had lunch. Maybe at 1 o'clock, half one, maybe it lasted half an hour, 45 minutes or so. We'd had lunch.
And he was in a good mood.
We were all in a... I can't describe it. It's the worst thing that I can say sitting here now. But he was in the best of moods. He was happy, yes. We were all...
He wanted to be there only for you. He didn't want to... He hates the cold. I would never allow it.
I want to be fair.
The only reason I went was... I sent him was because it was your...
We had... he probably told you we had...
because he clearly looked up to you.
I know that. We had protection gear, like, very warm. So we weren't cold. No one was cold, or there was nothing like that. So we were everybody was very, very upbeat. I don't know if we told you, but in the evening we were looking forward to doing some ice karting, which he was really like driving a little ice cart.
He told me when he was lost in the morning.
Yeah, so he was. He was lost. They found him. That was fine. He was in a. We went a long way after that. So he was absolutely fine. So we were in a very good mood. We were going along an ice track. Now, we weren't going very quickly. I don't know if he described how we worked, but there were 7 of us in total, and the guide would lead, and then we would all take turns of what position we all went in. But there was nobody set any position. Now, at that time, some of the times he was sort of going second or third or whatever. At that time, he was going second to last, and I was going last. Now, everybody went at their own pace. So what used to happen was the guide would stop every, say, 4 or 5 kilometres to allow everyone to catch up. So that there was no racing, there was no competition or anything like that. It was how do I describe the word? It was like a safari. So it was, everyone was going at their own pace and whatever. So he was going at his pace, and I was like, I was at the back. I was at the back. Some of the times I was in the front, some of the times I was in the middle. We all took different turns, but at different times. But at this time, I was right at the back, and he was. And the other thing is, we left quite long periods between, because you can't just stop the skidoo instantly. If it stops, it obviously keeps going. Not very long, but it keeps going. And the faster you go, the longer it will keep going. This comes to where we get to with the accident in a second. But so we were going along a straight patch, and then there was a corner, quite what I would consider a fast corner. But to give you an idea of the kind of speeds we were doing, we're talking about, and they will say this, I imagine, in the report which comes out, because they've measured everything, but probably somewhere between 30 and 50 kilometres an hour. So we're talking about 20 to 30 miles an hour. So we're not talking about racing along at 80 or...
It was at a bend.
When it was at a bend.
Must have lost control.
And wait, because this is very key. And his skidoo went straight on. Now, to give you an idea of the distance, about probably 20 metres, okay? Between 15 and 20 metres. But the skidoo, the skidoo never left the ground. I didn't see this because I was behind, and as I came around the corner, then I saw, the skidoo was like 10 feet from the track, so you could see straight away. And of course, I stopped my skidoo, and I'll come to that in a second. So the skidoo went straight on this corner, but it never left the snow. It's not like it was up in the air or turned over. And when I found the skidoo was still on. So it had never left the track, it had gone on. But Ra had hit a tree, but he hit the tree himself, not the skidoo. So there's no damage. Yes, this is where we come to. Hang on. There's no damage to the skidoo. So it's not like he hit the tree. Normally an accident like that would be someone going in a valley or someone going, into a tree. But he didn't. So this is where we come to as regards Wait. We think, and this is why you asked about the autopsy, but they think the medical examiner's looking, and this is very important, there is no damage to his body at all. When you see his helmet, there's no damage to his helmet or anything, it's his body. But they think, we don't know, we don't know, but they think he may have had some kind of blackout or some kind of heart attack or something. So it would have been instant. So because there's no damage to him. The damage, they do think his neck was broken, which would have been by the tree. But what they think is he fell off. But hang on, but it was instant. What they think is he's fallen off.
But when you saw him, he was off the skidoo, yeah?
He was on the skidoo on his back.
On the skidoo?
Sorry, he was on the ground on his back.
So he's fallen off? He's fallen off.
But there must have been a reason why he fell off. And the post-mortem will say this, but they think that he may have had... There's nothing like that. You don't want that, because if you crash into a tree, you'd want to be thrown off. But that was not the issue. The skidoo's undamaged. They drove the skidoo back 100 kilometres back to the base. There's nothing wrong with the skidoo. They think that he fell off for a reason, and they think the reason is he had some kind of seizure or blackout or something, but they don't know.
But
there's no way of knowing.
Yeah,
well, that would have been the tree, because as it's fallen off, he's hit the tree, and you don't have to hit a hard object very quickly for something like that to happen. So the accident, we don't know, but may have actually had nothing to do with the skidooing. It may have been, he may have had something else, but we don't know. Did he have certain pain in the ulcer or something? We don't know. But whatever happens, he's come off the skidoo, and he's hit the tree, and that's what, but we didn't know. Wait, let me explain this. You said what happened when we found him. I don't know enough about medical, resuscitation.
How many minutes were you for him? How long?
Probably 15 seconds or...
Oh, so he's instantly gone.
But when I got to him, I didn't know. I'm saying this as it is, but I was poking him saying, Ra, you okay? Come on, what's happened? What's happened?
So he seemed...
Because there's no damage. There was no damage to the helmet. The skidoo was still running. I'm sorry, and this is what the medical examiner will do in the report. The skidoo was only about 10 or 15 feet past where he'd fallen off, which shows that he couldn't have been going that quickly when he fell off. But he would have been going fast enough, probably 30 or 40 kilometres an hour. And if you hit a stationary object, or 30 or 40 kilometres an hour. But at the end of the day, the skidoo was just wrong. But they'll draw this out on a map, or they'll do something for us, so we'll know all this, because this will all be official. But the skidoo wasn't very far beyond, so I thought he'd blacked out. Sorry, I'm using the word differently to blacked out, but I thought so I'm poking him saying, Ra, wake up. And I saw that he had some sick coming out of his mouth. So I know nothing about, I've never had medical training, but I do know that if someone is bad, you turn them onto their side. So I turned him onto his side, and I'm still poking him saying, Ra, wake up. But I knew then that obviously he wasn't, I didn't know then, but he was already dead then. But I did not know that. So I run through to the guide who was obviously in front, who came straight back.
So you've got a
One of the party is one of my friends from Switzerland who's a ski instructor, and he is medically trained. So Pierre started to do resuscitation and mouth-to-mouth resuscitation, and we did that for nearly 45 minutes until the guide rang the helicopter. But when the helicopter came down, they knew instantly, they are medical professionals, and they said he was dead instantly. There was nothing could have been done to resuscitate him. But we don't know. It could have been a seizure. It could have been a heart. Until we get the post-mortem, he could have blacked out for some reason. Something must have happened for him to come off the skidoo. So it may not have been anything, it might not have been anything with the skidoo. But the problem is I don't know. Say the post-mortem comes back and says there was nothing wrong with him. Then we don't know. But we don't know. But we will get a full report, and we will get everything.
So the helicopter came to the hospital?
The helicopter, he was already dead. The helicopter, the medical people went away, and they had called what would would be the word a ranger who came with a stretcher, and the stretcher took him away and took him to the local hospital. Yes, but in Kittilä, yes, and I understand that's where he still is now.
Transferred.
I don't know. Okay, so he's in the local hospital, but there's no damage to his body.
So you went to the hospital to see him in Kittilä?
I was the last person to see him. No, I saw him by the tree. I haven't seen.
You didn't go to the hospital?
I haven't been to the hospital. No.
Why didn't you go?
Because I found him, I was the last person to see him. He was such a good friend, but I was the last person to see him. And I thought I saw him die, but he was actually already dead when I saw him. So, but I didn't know that at the time.
So what did they do at the hospital?
They would just store the body. The medical examiners had already said, he was dead instantly.
So what were they doing for so many days? Why was his body in the hospital for 3 days?
I don't know. You'd have to ask the authorities there.
So why didn't you go and see him in the hospital?
Because I was the last person to find him. I'm sorry. I was the last person to see him, and that was,
Did you try and get pulse?
Yes, that was very important. And again, this is not what you want to hear. But we felt a pulse when we were doing the resuscitation, but we weren't sure. But when the medical people came, they said you never felt anything because he was, the accident. He was dead. He was dead instantly. There was no. On the shoulder. They were doing Pierre was looking at his neck as well. So we thought we felt a pulse, but there wasn't. It was a reaction. He was dead instantly. He was happy, and he's had an accident. We don't know how he's had the accident, but the medical people will probably be able to tell us further. But by the way it happened, and because there's no damage to the skidoo, no damage to the helmet, no damage to anything, there's a possibility he's had a heart attack or a blackout. But we don't until they do the post-mortems and go through it. I need to know. None of us know. We don't know what happened.
So they took him to the hospital and then
to the hospital.
Are they going to do his autopsy?
They will do the autopsy properly, yeah.
So should I go? What do you think? I don't know. I wanted to go then, but I didn't know what to do.
I know, but right. I think it's probably better that you don't go. And the Finnish authorities are very professional, I think, about everything. Very, very professional. They were very good on the scene. They came as quick as they could with a helicopter. They came, they did everything they could. A safari policeman, whatever you call it, a ranger came to take all the details and take photos. And everything was very, very professional and done properly. And then Marta,
couldn't you fasten up the procedure? Couldn't you request that?
I can't do that. No, I'm sorry. No. I mean, they have to go.
Because we asked them, because he was just sitting in the hospital from Sunday to Tuesday.
Well, I know. Well, Tuesday.
From Tuesday today, they're driving him today, and the autopsy is tomorrow. They could have driven him the next day, doing the autopsy the next day after.
I can't speed up the official. Well, I have. We had the guide, Kim, was told by the medical people, would we like a counsellor on the Sunday night to, what's the right word, to talk to us about what had happened. And we said no, but the medical people said, because you're all traumatised, it would be better that you talk to yourself. Now, when they took him away, his phone was on his body, and then him in the evening went to get his phone. So we had his phone about 15 minutes prior to the police came up to get the phone from the police, and then of course I was able to speak to you because I rang the 0208 number, which I rang the cat. Of course, I knew you weren't there, but I had no other way of getting hold of you. We spent the evening on Sunday evening. We spent the time trying to analyse, could anyone have done anything different? But the way it happened, and we don't know fully what happened with him himself, if he did black out or if he had something else wrong that caused him to fall off. But whatever it was, it wouldn't not have changed whoever was in front or behind. He wasn't going particularly quickly, and I think the report will show that, because the skidoo was there, the skidoo had never left the track, it was still on the snow. It had, it's not like it had flown off into a tree or anything like that. It had just gone on and stopped. So he, for some reason, has fallen off the skidoo. None of us would. It doesn't. Nobody could ever know. It doesn't matter whether someone's in front of him or behind him, or if someone falls. It's like if someone is going on the road and falls off a motorbike. You can't stop them. And that's, we've tried to analyse, is there anything else we could do? And when we were trying to resuscitate him, we thought that we could sort of resuscitate him. That went on for about 45 minutes until the helicopter came. But they said when they came instantly, they brought a machine, to start the heart, a defibrillator, an electric machine, whatever it is, and they said he was dead instantly. There's nothing that anybody could have done any differently. And it's not like if we kept going with the resuscitation or anything. This will all be in the report, but there's nothing that any of us could have done to it was an instant death. However, we know what happened, but we don't know why it happened, and hopefully the post-mortem might tell us all. We need to know a little bit more about why. But as regards the actual accident, there's nothing any of us could have done anymore.
Susan called me later in the evening yesterday.
Yeah, I'm sure.
She said that you spoke to her.
Yeah, of course I spoke to her.
And I said, I don't know any more than you do, but we did speak to the police and he's just on his own there.
Yeah.
And nobody's with him, so I don't know why. I asked her, why didn't any of you stay Christian? I didn't even say Christian, I said, I didn't know why nobody stayed with him. One, that really upset me. And secondly, I wanted to make arrangements for me to go and how to get there and things like that.
Yeah.
So one thing that's really upset me, that nobody stayed with him.
I understand that.
And he only went for you, Alice. I only allowed him to go for you.
I know.
I never let him. I don't let him go anywhere.
I understand that.
And he looked up to you, he doted on you.
I know that.
Even though you used to scream at him, whatever, he said, Alistair, it's like a god to me. And I never said no to him. I said, go. He asked me once and I said, go. You should have at least stayed with him.
I don't.
Or any of you.
No, but okay, I understand that.
It really upset me that you left him there on his own. He went there for you. He left the advice that alone for you for the rest of his life.
I know.
I really respected you.
I really respected him a lot, you know that. That's why I asked him, how do you know that? But I respected him so much.
He hates the snow, he hates the cold. He didn't want, I didn't want him to go. Inside I didn't want him to go, but I knew he wanted to go.
Yes.
And for your sake, because you were happy for the first time in your life, he said, Alexa, so happy, he's so fit, he's so this, he's got everything he wanted. I'll go for his sake.
I know.
It's really upset me that none of you stayed with him. It's really upset me. If somebody died, if anything was to happen to any of you in the office, Rahul would have been there first. He wouldn't have come back. He wouldn't have left you if it happened to you.
I understand that, but in principle.
He would never leave you, Alistair. Or even anyone else. If it was not somebody he didn't know in the group, he wouldn't have left the body and come back. Or at least, okay, if you didn't want to stay, you should have done something for me. Till the next day we had to speak. Till yesterday evening we didn't know what was happening.
No, the authorities have their own way of doing things, and we have to put a little bit of trust in Kim that everything would be sorted out correctly, and obviously the authorities need to check the body and everything else. And so you may be right, maybe one of us should have stayed, but at the end of the day...
That's really upset me. I want to tell you from the bottom of my heart, I'm very disappointed with you. I'm very, very disappointed. I had a completely different view of you, Alistair. What Raj said to me was completely different. I wouldn't have allowed him to go if this was the case.
Well, none of us would have wanted him to go if we knew that anything was going to happen. At the end of the day, none of us. It was not the kind of thing where this should have happened.
My son is not even 2. I'm not even a small son. I'm not used to living on my own. I don't even have a British passport. There's no process. I don't know what to do. He hasn't done any life insurance. He's so down with money. All my paperwork is everywhere. Half the bills are pending. So many reminders of bills. He never pays bills on time. I don't know how to do anything.
What are you going to see? can help you on some of that stuff. As regards the accident, if it comes out that he had